52 to
Hello everyone and welcome back to new HPL video around Solarstone. This is round 7 for D1. We did D2. When this race was, we did so because this was on Thursday. We did D2 on Wednesday. My streams are live on Twitch. Well, I go live on Twitch and stream Hennessy there, so 9 o'clock on Wednesdays is D2, and then sometimes on Thursdays at 9 I will run D1. So if you want to check me on Twitch, you can do that. It's basically the same thing, just with the underscore NASCAR added on. But yeah, you can also look at the Hennessy Performance Racing League. There's a great finish to this race that I didn't catch because I was not running up there, and I'll spoil that a tiny bit. But yeah, there's a good finish, and if you want to go see it, you'll have to go on on Hennessy's on the Hennessy Racing League YouTube channel.
40 seconds.
But yeah, as we're trying to warm up the tires now, as we go on to our final lap out of the final corner, going up to the kink here. Gotta hit it right to get a good run. And we did set a lap on the track limits in total. I think we did do a lap on sauce before this, but it was not a good lap. As we downshift in the third gear through there, and then up through the gears, get on the power, DRS enabled, going down the straightaway into these two sweeping corners. You want to be in fourth gear, but I was in fifth. I didn't even notice it until we get into this corner here. You'll see me shift down in the fourth gear as I get on the power as early as possible without wrecking. Probably could have gone earlier as we go down the old pit straight into cops as we downshift in the seventh gear, lifting the tiniest bit as we go into maggots and Beckett's as we want to shift down in the seventh gear, then 6th and 5th as we go wide, and that will be the end of our qualifying session as we run into the wall and get damaged. You cannot reset the track, and I was debating about it there, but that is technically illegal, and you'll hear me talk about it in a moment here. But not ideal. We're gonna be starting 18th, but I didn't expect much.
Otherwise, that's kind of technically illegal.
That's what I was saying with the reset the track stuff. Yeah, you can't do that. Go boom, got a penalty for that. As I ended still how I would without wing damage. And that just goes to show how much it affects. Yes, it is probably the most wing damage you can get, close to that. But yeah, not ideal that we start 18th for D1, but I didn't expect much. You'll hear me say as I look at the results, we could have probably got like 15th or something at max. It just we could never run in the 25s, even though a time trial lap was like I know a time trial lap was a 125.7. We never could get in the 125s when I did like mock qualifying sessions just for fun with the AIs. Could not run in the 25s. I'd only run the 26s, most of the time 27s, which definitely was something I just couldn't figure out at the time. But I knew I had pace in the race based off of D2 fighting for fastest lap. I knew I have pace in the race, but as you saw in D2 and here, I just don't have qualifying pace. I think you would see that from watching others races, but yeah. As we warm up the tires, getting them nice and hot as we go into our grid slot, and it is pretty nice as we sped up a little bit because we're going a little too slow. We're going to get stopped as we're waiting for everything to get right. As we put in the clutch, go almost 50% throttle. 5 red lights out in round 7 of HPL D1 as we go down the turn 1. Killer looked for a move 3 wide as the Ferrari went wide. As we go down the inside of Killer, that's 3 wide. As I downshift in the third, they're trying to keep it nice and clean without running into killer. We still did, but a lot less than we would have.
Get into position.
As we use some EOS here. Not too much though, because we need to be careful on the EOS, knowing it's not that smart to push the EOS on lap 1.
Go away through this field.
As everyone's still not chilled out as we go to the inside of Mike G, who used to race in D2. I think he still does the odd occasion, but not that much anymore. As we lift in the cops corner, a lot more careful than we were in qualifying, trying to not get warnings, because warnings are big. As Killer looks for a move, Elite covered it off, which was pretty nice by him. As I'm just kind of trying to chill out, trying to mind my own business. As Gary had a moment, we looked to the inside of Killer. As we turn off the EOS, we did use a lot down that straight. As we go kind of a send a little bit, just a tiny send in the stow as we go in the club now, a little wide as we had a lock up and we hit the curb. Basically I just decided to give it to Killer. We weren't gonna fight him too hard because there's just no need to. We were in a bad position there, no need to fight. So yeah, as you'll see me downshift in the 7th in turn 1 a couple times, just to get that extra speed to get the run down in the turn 3, because turn 2 is just kind of a little turn that's very high paced. As we cut to to the end of lap 2, we have a moment with the front and rears locking as we let by starts, because I didn't really feel like battling. We were gonna lose time if I did. There was no need to. As we get our first warning also on that lap, getting very close to getting another one there. As there's a huge crash, about 4 cars, and I think Stotts may have been a part of it. It was Elite, I think Jackson, and a Ferrari, if I'm correct. I don't exactly know everyone that was collected in it. Yeah.
Like, just try this. It doesn't
As we would stay out here, no need to pit because we're on the hard tire. It's the hardest compound of tires. If we pit here, we're basically on a strategy that we were on D2, and yeah, so I decided not to as we move up all the way to 9th, I think it was here. Yeah, 9th. But however, the next lap, which I'll show you in a moment, yeah, the next lap, Starts would go in the pit. Don't know really what his decision was there. He lost more than he would have if he pitted the lap before. He would have lost a lot less than as here I'm trying to keep the tires up to heat, and we would I still don't know, looking at the telemetry, I still don't know what happened there, but not ideal. We were the last car on the hard, like on the old hards, but now we're gonna be further in the back, so absolutely mudded for the start here on lap 6, coming lap 7. Everyone keeping it clean, kind of here. As Jackson actually got thrown into a barrier by Hex, but I won't get into that because, yeah, as they got very close to Elite and the Ferrari, as the Ferrari kind of missed the corner a little bit, as we were trying to get right up to him. We couldn't really get him. He got a good exit, so we weren't really that confident on the exit. As Gary, I think that not Starts right behind us, right on our gearbox, as he'd take a peek. I didn't want to pinch him out because I didn't feel like I just gave it to him, because no point of battling. Same with Elite here. I'm just used a little bit of US to think better of it. I don't want to fight. I don't want to wear my tires. They're on fresher tires. I can just get towed along from them. Bad comps though, as we shift down to 6 to get more momentum. As we go through Maggots and Beckets, you have to hit these corners right. There I did, but not on my qualifying lap I did. And especially when you're pushing, very tough to not screw up, as we give the bottom to Electric, and we'll give the outside side, and we'd basically let him by. I know a lot of people getting past, and you might be wondering why I'm just letting everyone by. I don't feel like battling right now. I know I don't have the pace compared to these guys on new mediums and me being on 8-lap old hards. So there's no point of battling. I just wanted to stay in DRS and get pulled along, as there'd be a VSC for Bogu actually, who lost his front wing. I don't know if
seconds of penalties.
As Bogu spun a lot in this race. As we go back racing here, as Electric did not have a good Megan. He set up for the exit Maggots and Beckett's compared to me there. As we get another caution,
Go back on.
as it looks like soaps or so on, as we get an illegal overtake on Porsche. I'm still confused why we got it, as we almost take out Team Air Jordan. I didn't mean to almost take Chase out, but now looking back on it, as we end up letting Chase by not too long after, as I said, I'm not fighting these people on better tires than me.
Back here they have a
As we'd spin again on lap 11. We had some mistakes, but compared to D2, I feel like we did a lot better. And I'll be honest, we did do a lot better.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, as you said, as you heard me say, I don't know how I spun. I think I just got a little bit too much on thought looking back on it, but it's so tough to, like, when you just get in a rhythm and then you make a tiny mistake, it's so tough to. As I don't know if you guys saw that there, but Masopes just straight line in the corner and DNF'd. As we go on to pit on lap 11, coming to lap 12 here. This was a perfect time for us to pit. We could put on the mediums. We weren't going to restart till like lap 15 to 16, so well, mainly 15 I would say was when we were going to restart. So that means we would be about 11 laps on these medium tires, so it just felt like the best strategy, and especially for yeah, now we just had to manage, and I think we could definitely manage a pretty decent result out of this. Obviously not the best result, obviously, right now for Alpine, but I'm not looking,
but we didn't.
yeah, I'm not looking for a win or a top 5. I'm just looking for points. As we go back green here on lap 14, coming to 15, and the clouds will start rolling in. Rain started to be an issue with how many safety cars we had. So rain started to be looming, and if we got another one, rain was gonna fall definitely. As we're just chilling out with Jackson right behind us, as he was on the soft tires, and you hear me say, I'm not fighting that. He had so much grip. You saw how much he sailed it off into that corner and made it stick because he was on the softs. He had so much grip compared to us.
Bo just sent it into me and doing. I said that just shows how much
starts on a gearbox again. This time got really close. He kind of washed up in the center, and that did not help our case. As we pushed a little bit, and we'd be pushing a lot, I back out there, because we were gaining a lot, then we stopped gaining. I was like, I'm not going side by side in the cops. Bad flashbacks.
Bro's a boat in the straightaways. He's literally just going nowhere in the straightaways.
As you hear me say, he's a boat in the straightaways, and he was. I think he was running higher downforce.
He's flying.
He was like Superman in the corners, and then in the straightaways he was losing to everyone with like
how slow he is in the straights, but how fast he is in the corners.
It's how people like their cars, but I don't know how I feel about having less straight line speed, but he was terrible in the straights. as I think Elite and the Ferrari guy got into it, as Elite had no front wing and we just blow past them. I think Starts had a moment by spinning as we get a warning there. I think yeah. On lap 18, as the rain would start to come down, as you saw a little bit there on lap 24, but it wasn't enough as we cut to the last lap. The rain was enough. It definitely was raining, but just not enough to put on the inters. We had made our bed. We had to lie in it. As the epic finish here, it's just the remnants of it basically, as we are actually in P9 right now, but because of penalties we are sitting P7. Darludo has, I'm pretty sure, 6 seconds, and Hex has a 6 second ahead. Darludo actually might have 9 seconds of penalties. As we get a moment, we wreck, but we still finish, and we get 7th, P7. That is a win.
We got it! P7!
I've never been so happy in my life about a P7. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next time.